Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into the world of elevators and escalators with the Otis Worldwide Corporation. Think of this as us checking under the hood of the company that keeps us moving up, down and all around. There's always some good information hidden in reports like this. Otis just put out its yearly proxy statement, which is basically their report card to shareholders about how things are going and what they plan to do. And it's full of interesting tidbits. The report starts by laying out Otis's core values, which they call the Otis Absolutes: safety, ethics, and quality. It's a good reminder that when you're dealing with moving people, safety isn't just a nice thing to have, it's the most important. Ethics matter too, and a company's reputation depends on it. Otis is huge. They have elevators and escalators in basically every corner of the world. They claim they maintain 2.4 million customer units around the world and operate in over 200 countries. That's a lot of moving parts, literally. They also employ 72,000 people. Let's look at some financial highlights. Sales were about $14.3 billion, which grew about 1.4% organically. That means just from their existing businesses. Earnings per share, or EPS, a measure of their profit for each share, were up overall 8% after some adjustments. They spent over $1 billion to buy back their own shares. That can make each remaining share more valuable. Modernization orders, which is when they upgrade existing elevators and escalators, were also up 18%, and they have a large backlog waiting to be completed. One thing that caught my eye was a program they call Uplift. This program is designed to make the company more efficient. They're partnering with other companies to simplify back office operations. The board of directors is overseeing Uplift carefully, making sure it stays on track. Alright, so this is a proxy statement, which means shareholders are being asked to vote on important things. The main items up for vote include electing the company's directors, giving an advisory vote on executive pay, and choosing the accounting firm that checks Otis's books. This is the auditor. The shareholders also want to vote on a proposal. We will talk about it later. Otis has a lead director, John Walker, who works to ensure that the board provides independent oversight of the company's management. So it's not just the CEO running the show. They have a lot of authority, including setting board meeting agendas and even calling special meetings. Let's see how the board keeps an eye on things. They're responsible for the big picture, like strategy and risk management. The board oversees key areas such as strategy, risk management, cybersecurity, and even ESG, which stands for environmental, social, and governance programs. They receive reports from the head of internal audit, the general counsel, and other senior leaders. ESG is becoming a much bigger thing. Otis ESG efforts are connected to their business and are reviewed by the board. It is worth noting they are focusing on health and safety and lowering emissions. Otis has a code of ethics called the Otis Absolutes. The audit committee gets reports on any big issues with this. The company also has 3 standing committees: the audit committee, the compensation committee, and the nominations and governance committee. Each committee is made up of independent directors. Here's how Otis chooses its directors. They look for people with qualities like good judgment, senior level experience, and high ethical standards. They also consider whether a candidate has any conflicts of interest. They nominate 11 directors. Here are some of the most interesting candidates. Thomas Bartlett, age 66. He's the former CEO of American Tower Corporation. Jeffrey Black, age 70. He's a former senior partner at Deloitte. Jill Brannon, age 61. She's an executive vice president at FedEx. The board checks to make sure its directors are independent, meaning they don't have any relationships with the company that could cloud their judgment. After review, the board determined that all of the directors other than the CEO are considered independent. Shareholders get an advisory vote on executive compensation. That is how much the top people get paid. It's not binding, but the board listens to what the shareholders say. A large portion of their pay is at risk, meaning it depends on how well the company performs. For the CEO, about 91% of her pay is at risk. Otis also has clawback provisions so they can take back compensation if executives engage in misconduct. And they think about risk when they set compensation plans. Who decides how much the executives make? The compensation committee does this, which are independent directors. They look at pay equity and CEO performance goals, and also oversee stock ownership requirements. For example, all executives are not allowed from hedging or pledging our stock. Hedging and pledging, the practice of using your company's stock to take out loans, both could create bad incentives. As usual, and per SEC guidelines, all this information is clearly displayed in several tables. We have the audit committee that reviews the financial statements and the work of the independent auditor, so they make sure that the company's books are accurate. They also make sure the auditors are independent. PricewaterhouseCoopers, or PUC, is the company's auditor. The fees they charge are divided into a few categories and everything is approved by the audit committee. You always want to make sure there is a healthy balance of fees and if they are in the right categories. Now, about that shareholder proposal that is up for vote, it's regarding reporting on political contributions and expenditures. Some shareholders want Otis to be more transparent about its political spending. The board argues this isn't necessary because Otis already complies with all applicable laws and the amount of their political spending is insignificant. Here is how much stock executives own. You can see most of the stock is actually from exercised SARs or stock options and deferred stock units. The largest stockholders are Vanguard, JP Morgan, and BlackRock. The company confirms here that everyone is up to date on their SEC filing. These are required for company insiders, so it's good to see. Now, for the other matters section, Otis provides a word of caution about factors that could affect future results. In this safe harbor statement, they mention a bunch of risks from economic conditions to political instability. It is important to note the points that a company makes here because it might give you an idea on where they see the most risk for the company. Finally, there's a section answering questions about the meeting and how to vote and the deadlines to submit proposals for the next meeting. For anyone who wants to deep dive, there are also some appendixes showing how the company calculates its non-GAAP financial measures. That is, they are not following standard guidelines. The company believes that these are useful measures. These also have to be reconciled with GAAP measures. I think that the most important measure to deep dive is adjusted free cash flow and why they make that adjustment. Lastly, there are also definitions for financial performance metrics of their executive pay program. Now for my take, I think Otis is a fairly solid company. The push to modernization is a good strategic path. There doesn't appear to be glaring issues that could seriously hinder the company's future. The board appears to be actively managing and thinking about the future. Thanks for watching Corporate Decoder. Give us a like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.